A lot of times people when they're pec deck is one thing, but like when people are pressing, it's like when they come to the bottom of movements, a lot of the times it's like people sink and then it's up right away, right? Whereas like the more comfortable you get in this sinking position or feeling like this dropping, you're gonna feel a natural inertia to push as opposed to stopping that flow of that inertia and popping right away. So you're not gonna get as much chest stretch and sternum lift. So make sure the weight's manageable enough that you can lift and then drive, right? So I'm lift, sink, and you'll feel that natural sticking point and move through it, right? So the momentum going down will transfer back up, hence what inertia is. So that same force going down is gonna recoil through the body and fire out through again, right? So we need to take advantage of that, and people need to be a lot calmer at the deepest portion of their negative. It's like it's great to control coming down and all this stuff. People too much emphasis on controlling the negative as it's coming down, as opposed to just controlling and letting the body take the weight and then pressing through. So the more you fight the down, the tenser you get and the more you lock up, right? So you'll see like when I trained Dorian yesterday on back, it was like it's almost like on rowing things, I want the negative to be a little quicker so that we don't get this happening where my shoulder wants to go with it. I want to just let my hand go, let things go and pull them back at the same time, right? It's almost like a whipping effect. So I want to reach out, grab things back. I want to pull things back with my body. So a lot of people they overemphasize the negative because they're like, oh, the negative is like the most important part, is where you're tearing the muscle. You're not so concerned with the positive, the contraction of the rep, but it's like, yeah, but your body's going to control the weight as much as it needs to for you to control the weight. It's like you don't have to over control it. So like I'm not going to just drop the bar on my chest. Obviously the heavier the weight, the slower the negative is going to be because I need to control that weight. So I'm going to let it drop, but don't be in a rush to come out of here. Just let it drop, move. And like that's what we have spotters for. That's what you have people assisting you for, is that if you do get stuck in those bottom ranges, someone can carry you through a bit, right? For people who have bad shoulders like me, just start off the bench and contract your shoulders down and back as much as you can, and then open your hands to where they feel like it's comfortable, where there's no like impingement on my shoulder. Like here I'm impinged, here I feel something, and right here I'm good. So I know I'm just coming around my mid pec and driving in. So you didn't even need to throw head back that much. As long as you find that line where the hand is coming around on the most nipple line or pec line, like low pec line, and just keep that chest up high. And from here, move with your hands. So I'm gonna move here first, stay up tall on my pec. I'm not gonna try and muscle here or muscle around where I'm clanking this together. I wanna come to where my pec contracts, which is there, and then drop off. And drop off. I don't know who got it in their head that like, because this thing goes all the way around, that it has to touch for it to count. But it's like mind-blowing.
Ticking time bomb, you know I'm about to explode. I got a nuclear reactor deep down in my soul. I'm 30 seconds from a meltdown. Blood is running red hot through my...
This machine's weird. It's not weird, but it's like, see how you're pinned here and then you think you're gonna press wide, but it forces you in. So most people will do this and they'll try and stab in and open their elbows up, where you should stay here and just keep driving through palm. It's almost like your biceps slides and squeezes your chest up, right? So it's a super narrow press to work inside. So you don't have to do this stupid shit you see where guys are holding dumbbells on inclines and going like this, hit their chest. You just have to learn how to press properly. It does it itself. It's so crazy how people come up with these like the dumbbell pressing, holding in here. Like I'm sure you feel it, but it's like, there's no way to train just inner pec. the contraction has to come across, right? It has to squeeze in to send the contraction into the middle, right? So I have to drag my hand across on the pec deck. I have to drop and squeeze up through on a press. So to think that, like, as I'm pressing inside, I'm working inside, it doesn't make any sense, right?
You got me stuck in this race, and I'm about to get even. I'm breaking out of this cage, and it's about to get heated. Hot lava in flames, I'm a freight train coming to see you. You got me stuck in it.
People take weight off, try and be flat on your palm. So yeah, I know it's not like, a lot of people want to grab here and they want to knuckle forward so they see like their hands and they have a grip on the bar. But all this is going to lead to is that, right? Where my shoulder's taking over and I can only get so deep. And then I press in here and I'm getting pec, but I'm getting a lot more shoulder. And I'm going to have a lot more shoulder issues because I'm always wrenching back on my shoulder. Whereas here on a free weight bar, I still do it, but most people wouldn't. I'd still be under here on my palm, right? So I'd be in the nook of my thumb so that I'm able to get underneath the bar and have the bar push my elbows back and me drive up through it. The same thing here when people do this machine, because there's a lot of gyms that have this machine now. They're over here and they're here. So they create this like rounding here instead of being on my pec line, which is here, and moving through. So I have leverage almost like a decline. It's an incline, but I'm coming from up underneath and coming up into my pec. So I'm dragging across as opposed to arcing over. I don't want to arc and grab my pec. Literally my pec stretches here, then it's shoulder, 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 pec. Whereas here I want it to be pec the whole time. So I'm driving on hands, lifting my rib cage, and grabbing lower pec, right? But the way they have it set up is that it reinforces that people should be like gorilla arming it, right?
Remember the vengeance. Now you're to behave. Get up in my business. I put you down in the grave. I'm so far gone, bad blood turned on. I burn through anyone in my way. I'm about to bury my hatchet, so pick up the flush in your casket.
It's like this machine teaches you how to do a most muscular properly. You just like crab most muscular. It's on like a down angle too. So when people try and come around like straight, they do this. Whereas if you just lean into it and fall forward and then bring your arms down, it stays on your pec the whole time. How else? I mean, I think you can raise the incline here, so you can play with the height of the bench, make it more of an incline press. I just think that the higher the seat, the more depth you're going to get on the press, because these only drop so far, right? So it's more of like a shoulder guarding in the sense that it only drops to about chest line and you can drive up, so you don't get that extra drop. So this is more like squeezing. That's more of a deeper press, like down into the armpit more, so you're dropping on a different line. And here you're just flooding the muscle with blood. That's a good pump though. This is like strictly a arm fly. So if you try and squeeze your pec with it, you're gonna come out of posture, right? So if you just push hands around and just squeeze hands, so I'm just slapping my palm into the handle and letting my arms come around, keeping my chest up. Don't try and flex your pec, just use your hands to push through. It's like you're gonna do all these tip videos on like machines no one else has. Yeah. If you wanna learn that, you gotta come here, because we're the only ones that have it. I was like, I wonder how many gyms in the world actually have this piece of equipment.
Yo, once again I'm back around, real shit back in style, haters reconcile, I'm so black and proud, first class tickets now, feet all in the eye, everybody looking down, everybody get red when you drown, huh? Look at me up, I'm putting it down, you picking it up, checking the models, they want us to go to college just so we can be stuck, go to school to make a living, or teach yourself to make a fortune, common sense, welcome to the apocalypse, bitch I'm one of the horsemen. I don't need your endorsement, I don't need reinforcement. Giving you your last warning, cause I let my